Weaponmaster on the Thief has been pretty interesting. There's nothing really that meta defining, but some cool new combos and tricks are there to mess around with. More specifically, the new malicious sneak attacks on the Deadeye, featuring the Staff and the Scepter. With that being said, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Starting us off is the Scepter. Now, Scepter on the Daredevil is a pretty good combo. The Scepter is already a good weapon on Condi builds, and Daredevil itself just works well with Condi builds. Stuff like Celestial or even like Trailblazers will work well on it. Having that extra dodge is really helpful, and it makes a ranged option like Scepter better because you're able to just like create space a lot easier, and having that extra evade is great for when you're trying to channel abilities on the Scepter. I played a condition hit and run build with the Daredevil featuring the pistol and the Scepter as my two weapons. There's a lot of weakness application because of Scepter 2 and Daredevil dodges, being able to dodge and then getting weakness application after that, and then Scepter 2 just means that power builds are going to be a lot weaker against you. There's also some really good mob coverage with Scepter skills and Daredevil skills as well. You're able to throw out the knife skills from Daredevil that do immobilize and apply condis, as well as using the Scepter 3 skill to just apply conditions while you are at range, and it also immobilizes. Overall, it is a pretty solid pairing that works fairly well. Moving on to the Deadeye. Now, I feel like Scepter on the Deadeye is actually quite fun. I ran a power build that kind of just wanted to focus on the dual skill for main hand Scepter and offhand dagger. There's a lot of damage on the Scepter 3 dagger dual skill. And because Deadeye has a lot of damage modifiers in its trait line, you're able to get this damage number pretty high. You can just spam this ability and just nuke people down from full HP. You build malicious stacks very easily and do really good damage. So when you apply your mark, you just start spamming your Scepter 3 and you just do a lot of damage and you build up that malice very easily. Now, I will say the malicious sneak attack on the Scepter isn't really my favorite thing. You just apply a lot of stacks of poison and do some decent power damage. It's honestly nothing really crazy to gawk at, but it is pretty safe because of all the Deadeye skills you have. You have a lot of stealth, you can immobilize, you're just very slippery as a Deadeye. I paired this with the dagger for the burst and execute damage that you need, because the Scepter on the Deadeye is actually really good for getting that consistent damage. You just do a lot of damage up front, and then whenever you're ready to execute and just get that burst damage to land your final blow, you just go ahead and go into stealth and use all your malice stacks on that dagger ambush, and that will just feel really nice. Honestly, I loved this playstyle a lot. It can be a very fast playstyle with dagger. You know, you just go ahead and apply your mark, spam Scepter 3, go into stealth, and switch to daggers really fast and backstab them. It just feels like a really nice, clean, and fast playstyle that I actually enjoyed a lot. So if you like that kind of faster paced thief build, I think you'll like Scepter Deadeye a lot. Moving on to the Staff. Now, Staff on Spectre is not viable in my opinion. Power Thief just isn't really in the best spot at the moment. It could be cool with an open world build, but overall, there's nothing really new here, just the same Staff you always knew, and the same Spectre that we all know and maybe love. However, on the Deadeye, this is where things get a bit interesting. Staff Deadeye is a lot of fun. Now, you build Malice stack really quickly with Staff 2, and the malicious sneak attack skill is just a lot of fun. I enjoy it a lot. So what you do is you want to go ahead and go into stealth with your stolen skill. Because you have all that malice stacks from Staff 2, you can go into stealth and you knock them down with the malicious stealth attack. What this does is when it knocks down, it doesn't do that much damage because, you know, you are in PvP. It is a crowd control ability, so it does have that crowd control damage tax, but you get a pretty lengthy duration of quickness based on how many malice stacks that you actually used. So you can get around like 4 seconds of quickness and just wail on the enemy with Staff Autos and Staff 2. You can also pair this with a main hand dagger and you can finish off your opponents with that malicious backstab or Heartseeker. It actually just feels really good, and this is the build that made me enjoy Thief. Like, this build made me click with Thief, whereas previously I was having a really rough time. I played for hours. I made a community post talking about how Thief just wasn't for me, how I was about to give up, but then after playing some of these builds, it just clicked. After playing the Staff Deadeye, this Thief in general just really clicked for me, so that was a really nice sight to see. and it just felt really good. So if you like Thief, I definitely would recommend this build as it was a lot of fun. It felt very nice to execute, and whenever I did execute it properly, it was very rewarding. Moving on to the rifle. Now I'm just gonna say, rifle is garbage outside of Deadeye. You miss out on the Deadeye traits that actually make rifle a good weapon. Most notably is a silent scope, which allows you to get into stealth with just a simple dodge roll while you have a rifle equipped. The synergy with shadow arts is what makes rifles so good, but the other specs just don't do well with it because you don't have that trait. You can't go into stealth as often. It just doesn't feel good. And the initiative cost on the rifle is way too high for lackluster damage. And on top of that, without malice stacks, the sneak attack just isn't up to par with other better options, like dagger for instance, or even staff. So rifle just falls short in almost every category outside of Deadeye, which is a pretty disappointing. Hopefully ArenaNet buffs it for the other specs, but honestly, if they don't nerf that initiative cost or buff the damage on it, then I just don't see this really becoming a weapon that people will use. And that about wraps it up. Honestly, Thief is a class I don't really play that much, a class that I was actually really bad at. I wish I was good at it, but I'm just so bad at it. And Weaponmaster just kind of made it feel a lot better. Like I said before, running staff on the Deadeye just made Thief click for me. I don't know what it was, but it just started to click. Everything made sense. And it was a lot of fun. I actually found myself hopping on my Thief after the video was done and playing some more of it. So if you guys want to see more Thief content, that is something I'm open to doing because I actually really enjoy Thief now. Like I was able to pull off cool tricks like this with jumping into crowds, going in stealth, and knocking people down. So it was a lot of fun. If you like Thief, I feel like if you play some of these builds, you'll actually enjoy it even more. It's something new. Like I don't think it's anything like, though this is the brand new meta, but I do think it is some cool new tricks, and hopefully that will tide you over until Thief gets the axe, which I'm really excited to see how axe will play out. We'll be getting a new sneak attack, a new malicious sneak attack on Deadeye. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let me know down below what you think of the Thief and what you think of Weaponmaster on the Thief. Do you enjoy it? What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? All that and more down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.